Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to learn about acrostic poems. We're going to use acrostic poems this week in our poetry lessons. So I'm going to go over a little bit about how to write an acrostic poem, what an acrostic poem looks like, and some examples of acrostic poems today. All right, boys and girls. So this is an acrostic poem. An acrostic poem has a word going down. Okay, normally we write across. But we start with our topic word. We write it down. Sometimes it's in different colors. Sometimes the letters are bigger, so they stand out. And then we use the letter in the word to create new, I don't want to call them sentences because remember, poems don't have to have sentences, but to create new lines of our poem. So here's an example. Fall. So here's the word fall, F-A-L-L. And then across, they start with the letter F and they think, okay, well, what's something that has to do with fall? Well, fall is the time for harvest. A, animals store food. L, leaves fall like raindrops. L, light fades earlier and earlier. Okay, so they use the beginning letter to start their word. So the word fall, and if you look really closely, you see here's the F, and then they use A-L-L. So they use this as the first letter of the word in the line. So a lot of what acrostic is coming up with words that go along with the initial letter on each line. So let me show you another example. This one's going to be a little hard to see. They use the word winter. So here's the word winter going down. Now they didn't use a different color for the word winter. However, each letter starts with a capital going down and is bolder than the other words that are written. So here's our word winter. So they had to think of W words, I words, N words, T words, E words, and R words. And they had to tie it into winter. So I want you to listen as I'm reading it and think about how every line in this poem is talking about something to do with winter. So W, winter is very white and windy. Has to do with winter. I like snowboarding super fast. N, New Year's is super fun. New Year's is a holiday that's in winter. The temperature. This child probably should have put a little bit more. The temperature, we could say, is cold. E, everyone drinks yucky eggnog. Eggnog is a winter drink. R, roofs get covered in cold snow. Right, so his poem was all about winter. And as I was reading, you should have noticed that everything had to do with winter. So he has to not only find words that start with these letters, but he has to make sure that each line has to do with the subject winter. Let's look at another one. I'm going to come back to that one. Thought this one was pretty good. There's actually two here, so I'm going to fold it just to look at one at a time. They're both on the same subject. So this one is about insects. So here's the word insect going down. Notice that they're capital letters, they're bold. So all acrostics, our first letter always, when we write our word going down, it's always bold letters, sometimes colorful, and they always stand out and are capital letters. Okay, so let's look at our lines. So remember, it's about insects, so every line has to be about insect, and each line has to start with the first letter of that line. So I can see an insect. N, never touch a bee. S, spiders have compound eyes. E, every insect has 3 body parts. C, Caterpillars can turn into a chrysalis. T, the insect is asleep in the cold. So that was all about insects. And I want you to notice, see how sometimes never you wouldn't think is an insect word, but you can start with never because it goes on to say never touch a bee. So as long as the line relates to the topic, it's okay to use that starter word. Same thing, I, they used I by itself because I is a word. So I can see an insect. So every line relates to the topic and has to use that first letter to start. Now, if you look closely, I hope that you can see that this N for never, they don't need to rewrite the N because they use the one that's already there. So never, they use this big N and then they go E-V-E-R, never. Okay, so those are some things to point out. So you can do any kind of topic that you want when it comes to acrostics. Some people like to do their names. And this one is a little different from the other ones because with their name, instead of writing a whole line about it, they just picked one word that goes with each letter of their name. So this is Ashlyn. And she wrote her name going down in capital letters. They're blue, they're bold. And then she wrote about herself. Awesome, sister, hyper, lovely, youthful, nice, noisy. So that has to do with Ashlyn, the girl who wrote this poem. So today, okay, for fun, and you don't have to, this is optional. If you want, you can give it a try with your name and think about different characteristics that have to do with you. You can put your name going down and then give it a try. Tomorrow, we will work on creating an acrostic together on the computer. Okay, so I can't wait to show you what we have in store.